Sitting on the floor in my bedroom on a humid ass fucking day. Got a cat in the background, and I'm here to talk about the sadness diet. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. This isn't a lettering video. This isn't a planner video. This is a talk about Cindy and her life video. So if you would prefer my regular content, which is fine, I don't blame you, it'll be back on Monday. I've been taking the weekends off except for our live Sunday hot messes. I thought, with the encouragement of my patrons, to talk a little bit about what's going on in my life. For those of you who don't know, I have a genetic kidney disease. It's hereditary. You get a 50% chance of getting it if your parent had it. My dad died from it when he was 40, called polycystic kidney disease. Now, I have the dominant form, which presents mostly in adults. So some of you know I went to see a renal dietitian this week. A renal dietitian is someone who comes up with diet advice for people with kidney disease. And she's putting me on the sadness diet. So what's the sadness diet? Well, I guess technically it is a personalized renal diet plan for me as I am in stage 4 of chronic kidney disease. Now, what does that actually mean? It means my kidney function is 28%, which is in stage 4 of chronic kidney disease. There's 5 stages, and the 5th stage is end-stage renal disease, which means dialysis, when your kidneys have fully failed. Your kidneys do a lot of work for your body. They get rid of waste products and excess fluid. They keep your body in balance by making sure that the right nutrients and minerals stay in your body. They moderate your blood pressure. They make sure that you have enough red blood cells. There's a whole bunch of things that they do. And as your kidneys get closer and closer to failure, they have to work a lot harder to even keep you going. And right now, my kidneys, like I said, are at 28%. And they're giant. They're the size of like twin babies. They're huge and uncomfortable, which is why I'm in a lot of pain a lot of the time. But that's neither here nor there. So my sadness diet is actually a diet to make sure that my kidneys don't have to work as hard while I am this close to dialysis. This is not a forever diet. When I go on dialysis, I'll be on a whole different set of restrictions. And then, assuming I get a transplant one day, maybe it'll be one of you. Maybe it will be. You never know. And if it would be one of you, that'd be rad. Oh, there's the air conditioning. I'm leaving it on because it's fucking hot today. But I'm sitting right by the vent, so maybe I feel kind of like an asshole. Sorry about the air conditioning. If it's really bad, I may not even put this video up, which means the apology is unnecessary anyway, question mark. Sadness diet means, for me, basically all processed foods are out, because most processed foods have added phosphates, which is bad news because your kidneys have trouble processing those when they're going bad. I am restricted on sodium. Even though my blood pressure is great, it's great because it's controlled with medicine, and so they want to lower my sodium intake quite a bit. My protein intake is also extremely restricted, between 20 and 50 grams per day, and less than 5 ounces of that can come from any sort of animal protein. I need to give up dairy completely because dairy has a lot of stuff in it that kidneys find hard to process when they're struggling. This is a common theme. Even with animal protein, I need to stick to things like seafood, and only some seafood, and things like chicken, poultry, whatever, and egg whites if I want those. No more cheese. Sad panda for me. I also have to look out for foods that are high in phosphorus and potassium. Phosphorus and potassium are 2 more minerals. You need to have those things, but too much of those can be really bad for you. Right now, my numbers on those are okay. They're in the higher level of okay, but she wants me to make friends with the idea that I'm going to have to be saying goodbye to these, so I got to get used to it. I'm a picky eater, and if I'm no processed foods, no dairy, no most proteins are out, what am I left with? Fruits and vegetables, mostly, except even then, some of my favorites are on the list of things I can't have. Broccoli gets up there in potassium, so that's going to be something I have to restrict, and it's my favorite vegetable. Nectarines, my favorite fruit, high in potassium, I have to restrict those. Basically need to say goodbye to bananas and potatoes, and mashed potatoes are my favorite food, so that makes me so sad. I got several different lists of stuff that I'm supposed to be checking on, several different lists, and some of them contradict each other. I'm also supposed to start avoiding whole grains because there's too much nutrition in whole grains and my kidneys can't handle that, so I need to start moving to more processed grains. But then if I do processed grains, then I might run into phosphates, so I have to be careful there. But I did find out that possibly really well cooked sourdough that doesn't have a bunch bunch, like from San Francisco, that doesn't have a bunch of preservatives in it, I can have that. Sugar is not super restricted because I'm not type 1 or type 2 diabetic. My sugar is fine, so I can have sugar, just not chocolate and not processed food. Beer is supposed to be restricted, but she said nothing about wine. And as for cheese, I told her, can I ever have cheese? She said, yeah, but make it a treat. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get the nicest cheese I can possibly find every once in a while. It's gonna be my diet. Sourdough bread, delicious cheese, and wine. Only cheese once in a while. I know that this sounds like me bitching about a bunch of things I can't eat anymore. I think the biggest reason I'm stressed out about this is because I am very picky. I have a lot of food aversions, especially things have to do with textures. Most condiments are out for me. Many spices are out for me. Like, I have a lot of things that are out for me. It's very restricted, and the things that you can have, she's like, just eat these in abundance. And I'm like, but I don't like those. So that's going to be hard for me to try and adjust how I eat with how picky I am. Like, I'm to the point where if I try and bring something I don't like to my mouth, I'm like, and I can't do it. Like, it's legit. Like, I really struggle really hard. Ask anybody in my family. This is going to be an interesting adventure, and I have decided that I may vlog some of it, vlog some of the recipes that I have to make, vlog maybe my shopping. I think tomorrow you're going to get to see a shopping trip that involves my whole family and us trying to navigate my 800 pages of different restrictions that I have. Sometimes it's hard for me to find information on YouTube about people who have chronic kidney disease who aren't like elderly. Not that there's anything wrong with elderly people, and you can learn a lot of stuff from elderly people. I'm bringing you back to kitty cam over here. But sometimes it feels better to know that there are also people out there that are in their 30s or their 20s or whatever age group with kidney disease and having to deal with some of these restrictions and being a picky eater. So I think I'm in a hot mess take you through some of my life and our family as we adjust to eating this way, and maybe even as we adjust to when I start going on dialysis, which is going to be happening sooner rather than later. If you are not interested in these kinds of videos, that's fine. I have plenty of other content you'll like. But if you are interested, let me know in the comments, because I would really like to know if you would like to hear more about this journey that we're on as a family and how we are managing with someone who's 37 and is having kidneys that are starting to fail and has teenagers at home and shares custody and has a type 1 diabetic for a husband. Like, we have a lot of shit going on in this house with our falling apart bodies and our falling apart psyches sometimes. So if you are at all interested in seeing any of this, please let me know in the comments, just so that I can know that I'm not just speaking to myself and putting it out there on YouTube just to get made fun of. I really don't want to be made fun of right now. It's been a really rough time. And I know this is kind of a downer video, but honestly, today I'm feeling really down. I'm just being honest. I'm feeling really down. Being in chronic pain and having a body that's like giving up on me right now, and how to keep fighting and not lose morale. And YouTube has been a really great source of building my confidence and making me feel great about not just myself, but just great about people in general. And so that's why I'm coming to this. I hope you like watching these. I may not keep doing them depending on how the response is. I guess we'll have to see. I want to thank the patrons who I talked to yesterday and told me I should give this a shot. And thanks to all of the rest of you. Hey, there goes the AC just as I'm wrapping up. I really appreciate all of you for watching.